I think it has something to do with the fact that it's only starting to take off in the sense that globally it's becoming a huge wave, but it's the starting point of it. Only 200 million people are learning the language.
Well, yeah, and in a case like this, oftentimes the demand will spike out of nowhere that didn't exist before.
Which means you didn't have enough preparation.
Exactly, and that's the way it has to go.
Yes.
It has to go in that direction. Otherwise, it wouldn't be seen as a good business decision.
And to be honest, when we were starting Takeaway Chinese at the very beginning, we did research on the podcast platforms and see how many podcast products are there related to Chinese learning. We didn't find much. But these days, when I search Chinese learning, Chinese-related content on podcast platforms, there are many. So we are already looking at a growing in the making of the material.
Yeah, I did when we first moved to Beijing over a year ago now, one of the first things I did was an online search of what types of resources I could find. And I did find a lot of podcast stuff, and I found a lot of stuff from expats who live in China, who speak Chinese very, very well, and then this is part of what they do is teach. But I have a complaint about that. They speak way too quickly from lesson. Okay, no, usually it goes lesson number 1, ni hao, lesson number 2. Wait, what happened between lesson number? I got ni hao, but something happened that I didn't catch. And so this is my complaint, is that, and this is part of the challenges to answer this question of yours too. Mandarin can be a very, very intimidating thing for native English speakers or any non-Chinese speaker, because number one, we have the Chinese characters that look like pictures, right? and we've never seen anything like that before. There's nothing to relate. There's nothing to relate in our own language there, so that's really intimidating. And then also, Chinese sound similar to French or German or Spanish, or so again, to use native English speakers as an example, it's tough to find a starting point. So for these podcasts and for Takeaway Chinese that we do together, I think, rolling things out slowly and in a place where we can feel like, okay, I got that.
Beginner's level.
Yeah, like baby level. That would be very good.
Yeah,
that's just my first.
I like the online content, and when there aren't enough choices among the online content, you can go for the beginner's level.